Here's the 5 most common mistakes that are holding you back from moving from beginner to intermediate snowboarder. And number 1 has to be the chairlift. So let's just dive right into the nerd. Number 1, becoming successful with the chairlift is just gonna make you feel more confident. But how the heck do we do that? Number 1 is I like to shift my hips, rotate a little bit, take my backhand, put it on the back. And my goal is to get my lead, hip, shoulder, and board to all point in the same direction. As I stand up, I'm gonna take my back foot, press it against the back of the binding so I have a good strong position. Next, I'm gonna allow that shoulder, hip, and knee to point where I wanna go. If I wanna turn left, I can turn left. If I wanna turn right, I can turn right. But by just doing those 2 things, it's gonna be a big game changer. But to make that even more elevated, as I get off the chairlift, I really think about keeping my eyes up. What ends up happening for beginner snowboarders who absolutely struggle with the chairlift is their first movement is to do this. Foot here, eyes down, and then now we're here. Look at this terrible body position. I'm about to fall over. Rather, if I can have that back foot on the back, eyes up, boom, look at this position. But the eyes up are really critical for 2 reasons. One, it allows you to be in a better body position, because notice that if I'm here, I'm balanced, just like a normal day at the office. I'm hanging out. The moment I do this, I'm falling out of my chair. Not good. Secondly, it allows me to see what is below. Is there a group of people? Is there a catwalk? Is there an icy spot? Is there somebody who fell? The more I'm able to keep my eyes up, that allows me to gather more information so that I can have more success, especially getting off the chairlift. Now, I wanted to start with the chairlift chat simply because it is so important, because for the rest of your snowboarding career, you are literally going to be using some form of chairlift or chairlift. Yeah, either a chairlift or it could be like a Palma or a T-bar type thing. But regardless, it's going to be very pivotal that you're just successful with that. I truly believe as a beginner snowboarder, the more you can stay on your feet, the more fun you're gonna have, the more confident you're gonna have. But the more you can stay on your feet and not crash, and having that success is going to lead to a better time.
And today's video is actually sponsored by Insta360's newest camera, the X5, and this entire video was filmed on this 360 camera. Now, if you use the link down in the description, you're gonna get one of the coolest things ever, and that's going to be this new lens replacement kit for free, just by using my link. Now, here's the thing. You can literally change your lens at your house in less than 2 minutes, even if it's your first time. And if you get really good at it, you can literally change this lens in 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Holy cow, that's amazing. And that's not all. There's a couple cool other upgrades that I'm absolutely in love with. And one is, imagine you have your gloves on and your camera and everything, and all you got to do is turn the camera once, turn it twice, and it will automatically start recording just by doing that. So no need for buttons and anything else. Also, they've upgraded their low light performance with their new pure video mode so that the low light is amazing. And I'm really excited to use this the next time I go snowboarding at night. What? Super cool. And they now offer 4K and 120 frames a second in their 360 mode, which means you can get some incredible slow motion shots in the 360 mode. Holy cow. So if you're interested in picking up one of these awesome, incredible, revolutionary cameras, check out the link in the bio where you get a free lens replacement kit just by using the link. Actually, and it's actually down in the description. Cool, let's get back to the video.
Now, number 2 is going from a beginner is catching an edge. Do we all know what catching an edge is? And I hate doing this. And I'm about to have a 3rd hip surgery, so my hip's already busted. But essentially, as a beginner snowboarder, you may not be able to make turns like I'm doing, so apologize for that demonstration. But if I'm on my heels and I'm not paying attention and I lean downhill, whoa, I didn't do it, we're gonna do it. As I'm here, I'm going to lean downhill, you're gonna catch an edge and you're gonna fall. And if you fall, it sucks. But regardless of what level you are on your snowboard, it is extremely important that you don't catch an edge. But let's identify why that happens. Well, anytime you're snowboarding and you're going downhill directly, you want to make sure that you're leaning uphill. Notice that my belly button is stacked over my heel side edge and I'm fine. The moment my belly button or center of mass goes to my toes, that's when I catch an edge. This principle applies on my heel edge. This principle also applies on my toe edge. So no matter where I am when I'm going downhill, I want to lean uphill. Now, this is very beginner, but this is extremely important because this is going to save your life for the rest of your snowboard career. Lean uphill. But what about when I'm pointed downhill? Now, when you're going downhill, I like to have 60% of my weight in my lead foot, so I'm going to pick up speed. But the moment I lean back, I'm leaning back. The moment I go down, I start to lean this way. I want to lean uphill. I just want to make sure that's very clear. That's going to be the next beginner mistake. Mistake number 3 is you're getting to a point where you're feeling pretty good and you can sideways, you can control your speed, but we got to start making turns. Now, when we start making turns, it's extremely important that we commit to our turns. So for me right now, and I am looking around so I'm safe, but for me right now, I want to get my weight to be over my lead foot as I start to point my board down the hill. And then I want to make that turn. I want to come to a slow down or a stop. Now, 2 things that make this way easier. One is I have to commit. A lot of times when you're new at snowboarding, it's so scary to commit because you're like, well, if I'm in this position, I can slow down. The moment I go down the hill like this, I'm starting to accelerate. When I accelerate, the speed is really what's scary, right? So I want to get commitment. Now, I don't think about commitment only in terms of like mentally, I got this. It's also more of a body position. So let's go to our heels to demonstrate this. If I'm in this position and I need to make a toe side turn, I want to make sure my lead shoulder, my lead hip, and my board all point in that toe side direction. And for me, that toe side direction is going to be to the right. Now, as I'm in this position, if I'm committed, everything is going to go together. Notice how easy and smooth that turn was. And yes, I've been doing this for 30 years. It is smooth, but the principles apply. If I keep everything together, it's a lot easier. Now, here's the challenge. Most times, we're not committed. So now watch my lead shoulder. Lead shoulder is going to open up. And now I'm going to try to get my board to go downhill. But notice that I'm not committing. Notice that I'm picking up a lot of speed. And I'm unable to actually make this turn. So then if I really try to make this turn, now I've not gotten to toe side edge. I pick up a lot of speed. It's really scary. Oh my gosh. Because I'm not committed with my body. I might be mentally like this, like, oh, I'm all in. I'm all in. Notice this awkward position. It's not allowing me to get on that toe side edge to make that turn appropriately. So all of a sudden, I have a really big struggling time committing to that turn. And then when I struggle to commit to the turn, I go way faster, way scarier, and then I have less likely to commit because I'm so freaked out. So back to point number 1 is make sure your lead shoulder hip are committed to that turn. When you're going toe side, same thing applies on our heel side. I'm committing to that turn, whether I'm going left or right, toe side or heel side. Then to make this turn a little bit easier, I love to talk about knee steering. So in combination with my lead shoulder and hip, as I start to go down the hill, I actually want to put 60% of my weight over my lead foot. And I'm going to pretend there's a bug on my ankle strap, or in my, yeah, the ankle, the heel, the ankle strap here. And I want to press my knee over the toe. Now, if I allow my shoulder, hip to be committed, notice how quick this turn is. Then when I'm on my toe side, needing to go to my heels, I will take my knee and I'll start to rotate my knee so that I can turn this way. This combination of both knee steering and commitment of the body makes these turns super easy. Now, at first, yeah, it's going to be a little weird to make these turns because you're not going to have enough weight on that back foot. Your weight's going to be so back here that getting the weight on the front foot is hard. Now we got to commit to 60% of the weight over the lead foot. Once you do that and you're able to do the commitment with the shoulder and the knee steering, it's going to turn your world into a freaking playground. I could theoretically go knee steer in the woods. I can go on steep terrain. I can go moguls. I can go almost anywhere by using that style of turn. And especially as a first turn to learn is your skidded turn. Those tips are going to be absolutely amazing. Now, that's number 1. That's number 2. Number three is, okay, now that we've understood, we're like starting to make our turns. The biggest mistake snowboarders, beginners make that are holding them back is they're still not in the right body position. Here's the 2 biggest, worst, not awesome body positions that most snowboarders are in. Number 1 is you're flex at your hips way too much, so you're more here. I see this all the time. Now, the biggest reason people do this is perceptionally, if my eyes are lower to the ground, it's not so scary. Look how comfortable my mind is. I can touch the ground. If I fall over, it's not scary. But the problem is you're using a lot of energy. I'm burning my legs. I'm wasting that. I'm not agile. I'm not athletic. And I have less control going left and right. It's going to be very delayed, which would be a big problem going in moguls or trees because you can't have delayed turns. If a turn takes too long, you crash. We need fast turns. So that position is not awesome, and that's extremely common. The second common bad, not so awesome body position is when you're having too much weight in the back seat in combination with this lead shoulder open. So people ride like this all the time. Lead shoulder open. This is less awesome. Here's why. When you're going in a technical situation, your turns are delayed. You have a lot of weight on that back foot, which means that if I'm handling a lot of bumps, a lot of chop, or something technical, all my weight or 90% of my weight is in my back foot. With all that weight in that back foot, I can't distribute the pressure evenly. And it's like my turns are really long instead of quick. Imagine driving a boat and all the weight's in the back. Can you make turns? Yes, but are they really agile? Not really. They kind of take a little bit of movement. So if we can get out of this body position, which is super leaning back, and get her, whoa, I almost caught an edge. If I can get out of this position and be in a more awesome stacked position, and I like to think about my lead shoulder pointing where I want to go. So if I'm going straight on a catwalk like this, that my shoulder is pointed where I want to go. Then I'm going to have my weight even between both of my feet. Then when I want to knee steer, going to 60% is pretty easy. But if I'm in a 50%, I can now distribute the pressure between both legs. If I'm jumping, landing, hitting moguls, I can distribute that weight better. And then, like I said, I can shift here. Also, with that lead shoulder being so far open, watch if I have to make a toe side turn. I technically have to get my shoulder into neutral and then turn. That's delayed. But what if my shoulder was already neutral and I want to go toe side? I want to go heel side. What if I want to point my shoulder this way, this way? Look how neutral I am allowing that to happen versus so far open here, and then I have to move here to here. See how long that takes? It's really inefficient. And again, that is not awesome for riding mogul, steeps, trees, that kind of stuff. And I see a little bit of off-piste terrain here. So if we can go back to being in a strong body position, watch my body. Knees are bent. Oh, it's going to get bumpy. It's going to get bumpy. I can handle this versus it being here. This is way harder. So being in a neutral position is going to take you from the beginner realm of your snowboarding into that more intermediate and going beyond the beginner's zone. Number 4 most common mistake is that you're sticking to the same run and doing the same thing. One of the things that I love about snowboarding, and I strive in my own snowboarding, and I don't know if you're like this too, but my goal is to be able to handle anything at any given time. If I want to go ride steeps, trees, moguls, park, cliffs, whatever it is, I want to have the ability to do anything. So the more I can venture out and riding different mountains, riding different runs, instead of riding the groomer part, what if I go ride the stuff that's not so favorable, a little bit bumpy? How do I handle that? How do I be in the right body position to handle that? Ooh, this snow. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Woo! When you get a good turn, it's awesome. Now okay, total tangent, and I apologize. I don't love just making turns. I think they're boring. But when you do a good turn, it's kind of fun. That's total contradiction. But change up your snowboarding as much as possible. Another hack that I do is ride with different people, different groups. I rode with this one guy last year, and he like has this whole warm-up routine, goes onto this wild part of the mountain before he goes to the park. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Holy voice crack. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I've completely changed up how I ride. So riding with different people, different groups, trying different things, different mountains, it's going to make you a way more versatile rider. And it makes you way more adaptable. That's a big thing. So that you can get into situations and you're like, oh, I've been here before. And that's going to be it. And then the last part is one of the most challenging things in snowboarding or skiing or on the mountain is getting more days on hill. Now, they say when I used to instruct for Bear Resorts for like, I instructed for like 12 years about 12 years, and then I worked for the resort for like 19 years. Something crazy because I worked there detailing buses when I was like 14, 15. So I've been with Vail a long time. But they used to say, and I'm imagining it's still similar, the average Epic Pass holder as a male rides 5 days a year, and female rides 7. So the most people in percentage wise who ski and snowboard only ride less than a week. How the heck do you get good at snowboarding if you can only do it 5 days? And that's why this is the hardest part of snowboarding, is being able to get as many days as possible. Last year, I got 230 days snowboarding from October to October. That's all I did. Now, yes, I should be way better of a snowboarder than I am for the amount of days I ride, but with back injuries and hip injuries and pain, and I'm not as good as I wish I was, right? But if you can just get a lot of mileage, it's like repetition therapy. Imagine the first time you drive on your car on a road, scariest thing ever. Now it doesn't even matter. You're not texting, or you're not watching a movie, or you're not listening to music. Wink, wink, wink. Right? But that becomes now effortless. Your brain has the ability to have the bandwidth to do a lot of things. Now, for me, I can do all this stuff while talking to you, holding a camera, having fun, not catching an edge, only because I've been doing this for 30 years and I have so much time on the snowboard that I've made those mistakes. I've improved my snowboarding, I've built the awareness, and I have the bandwidth to do two things at once, maybe three, maybe 10, right? I could do all this at once and not catch an edge and not crashing. This is one continuous take because I've just been doing this a long time. So ultimately, if you can just get more time snowboarding, more time riding, it's going to make a world of difference. Going from 7 days to 100 days in one season, your snowboarding will dramatically change. Now I'm at the bottom of the mountain and I don't know where I want to go. Do I want to go Eagle? Do I want to go? I don't know. But regardless, the more days you get on hill, the way more awesome you're going to be. And that's the goal. So on that note, if you're digging this style of content, let me know by liking the video, share this with a friend. And if you're looking for an awesome camera, check out my link, because you are going to get that special bonus of the lens if you pick it up right now. Or no matter what, like, that deal might expire, but there's going to always be a deal where you get something when you use my link as a cool little give back / bonus. So like I said, like the video, share with a friend, comment down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Appreciate you more than you know. And this may be my last YouTuber video for a minute. I'm having hip surgery in less than a week. So my hip's gotten really bad and it's miserable, and I take 1 to 2 runs once a week because my hip is miserable and it hurts. So I'm gonna get hip surgery and try to figure this thing out so that I don't have to talk about this ever again. But I might do some videos on the recovery process, maybe the PT, maybe the struggle. Let me know in the comments down below. Is that something you want to see? And because you made it this far, thank you for listening. I want to do content this summer, but I'm also like, do I want to do content, or should I just rest and recover? I don't know what I want to do yet. So maybe you'll help influence my decision. Should I do more recovery, vibey, home stuff with the fam? I don't know. Let me know. Cool. Appreciate you. And on that note, love you. Bye. Bye.